Inflation is out of control and the Biden administration is raising interest rates to fight it. But is that the smartest move? Right now, to join me, I have Michael Bixby, the fire-breathing progressive, standing in for Farron Cousins this week. Michael, as I look at this case, you have all of the talking heads all over the place about the fact that the Fed should do this and Fed should do that. But there are some pretty important points that they're making about raising interest rates and how it's potentially going to bring on a recession.
No, that's exactly right. So that's exactly what they're talking about, is the natural reaction to this of, oh, we've got to keep the prices down. And you notice what some of the Fed is saying, oh, we actually want to really bring wages down.
Right.
Is part of what the goal is to be accomplished here. And absolutely, there's a real risk. In fact, it's the consensus that if the Fed keeps this up, that what you're going to get is at best some sort of a maybe if it's not a full-blown recession, you're going to have some contraction. So you're talking about something that's obviously going to have negative effects.
The problem with recession, as you know, is most of the time we don't even see it until it's almost over. And what I thought was so remarkable is Yellen Janet Yellen coming out and saying, well, there's a couple things I didn't see coming. I didn't see the potential for recession, and I didn't see inflation. What scares the hell out of me about that is that's her job. And it was almost as if she said the whole administration was asleep. They were asleep on this issue.
And if you think about that, Pap, I mean, this is complicated, and I don't want to say oversimplify it,
right.
But at the same time, some of this is fairly elementary. I mean, what happened in 2020 and 2021? We printed trillions of dollars. The natural effect of that, of saying, well, what is the likely cause of this going to be? Is that going to cause inflation or deflation? I mean, if you ask it on a very elementary side, it's like, well, that's much more likely to cause inflation. And there's a lot of complicated effects of that. I appreciate that, but you're right. We have the best minds, or supposedly the best minds, who should be looking out for this and saying, how are we going to manage?
Yeah, how do you say never saw it coming? Okay, it was like we heard the same thing about the economic crash with the mortgages. Never saw it coming. And you ask yourself, well, my God, who's at the wheel? And it doesn't seem to make any difference when we're talking to these economists, because they didn't see either the crash coming, they didn't see this coming, they didn't see inflation coming, they didn't see potential for recession coming. They don't talk about what you talked about, is that the end result is to lower wages and potentially put millions of people out of jobs as this progresses.
Right, and you want to say how is, if you bury your head in the sand, you can miss a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
If you choose to ignore it. But the ultimate consequence here, it's not going to affect the people at the top, the people who didn't see it. And what you're going to see is the most damage is going to happen on the bottom end. It's going to happen for the lower wage workers already, who are going to be harmed.
Right, gated communities are not going to feel this.
Correct.